Okay, this is Africa Ministries Outreach Bible College. We present to you some of our subjects, and today we wanted to discuss the introduction of biblical theology. And we are coming to you by this program. We welcome all of you in the Africa Ministries Outreach. It is one of our very important points for master's programs, and we need you to understand something, especially the content of the systematic theology and the original term that we have in this. So we need to interest everybody who is following this program and understand what is taking place by this. So it is a content that is collected by most of scholars and in agreement of the Bible College and the other universities, not only in African Ministry Outreach, but in the Christians Theological Seminary that we have collected the books and we recognize all the subject that we have. Maybe if we can explain the biblical theology's relationship to exegesis and the systematic, especially when we speak about exegesis, we mean what? We mean by exegesis, we mean um, uh, exegesis is some kind like a careful explanation of the meaning of a given text. The term comes from the Greek term, which we call exegesis. It is just full Greek terms. That means explanation. Exegesis involves analyzing a text in its historical, cultural, and literary setting with concern for its lexical, grammatical, and theological content. The exegety focuses primarily on the explanation, explaining the text message for its initial audience. So, to explain the text message for its initial audience, it means that you explain, say, a text, you have your text, you explain it, and you try to initiate to the audience. It means what? You must understand. You must understand, You must understand the content. For example, if Paul wrote his letter, he must have the first audience, and you must understand who is the first audience, the first persons to whom Paul addressed his message. And if you understand, you can now analyze what was the content and what was he explaining to them. And when he was explaining it to them, you must understand the grammatical and the theological content that he was using. And this can help you understand foundationally how each works help relieve some of the tension felt in the differences of approach. There is nothing wrong with examining a text from various angles in order to appreciate the various dimensions of that biblical text. So it is just this way we are trying to explain. For example, when one compares biblical theology to exegesis and to systematic theology, it is clear that biblical theology occupies a bridge position. And when we say a bridge position, it is a bridge position between the other two ways of reading the Bible. All three disciplines make a valid contribution to theological study. through the assumption that allows biblical theology and systematic theology to work towards a unifying goal, which is that one comparing, not only comparing, but expressing divine author stands behind the individual parts of scripture. Without a commitment to the author behind the human authors, all three disciplines lose any hope of producing and a unifying reading of the Bible's message. Doing biblical or systematic theology is problematic in a written, it is problematic in a written document that might be randomly written, okay, assembled, but the Bible is not an assortment of recorded individual religious experiences. So this is what we are going to discuss on. So just let's stop by there and just give time for questions, but we are going to add on by next sessions and see the authors of the volume on the New Testament, theology, share with the rules of the companion volume on the Testament, especially Old Testament theology, a commitment of a high view of the inspiration and authority of the Bible, only emerging from exegesis, biblical theology, and systematic theology. Okay, let's stop by there and give time for questions, and then we'll come back to you by the next session, which is explain widely, especially the difference between biblical theology and systematic theology. That will get another session. Thank you too much.